Peace, blessings, love, and light. Yah, the Most High, shine down on and in the lives of all of the Creator's righteous children, resurrecting as gods on earth. Hoping everybody is having a good day today. Hope everybody's feeling really good in their spirit. If you are going through some drama, I know what I'm getting ready to say is probably not going to help you in the moment, but I'm going to say it anyway. If you're going through some drama, or you having a hard time, or you just bewildered right now, I'm going to say it anyway. This too shall pass. This too shall pass. This too shall pass. When you're going through a rough patch in your life, you gotta say that. As long as you breathe in oxygen, you breathe in breath of life, you have to come to that notion that whatever it is that you're going through, this too shall pass. But that's not why I came on here. I was talking to one of my friends about Wakanda Forever, and I was like, you know what? Let me just throw this thought out there, because I have to admit, man, you know, some of my friends, man, some of the sisters that I be talking to, they not woke. It bothers me when black women are not woke. I be in my feelings when black women are not woke, especially my friends. I'm like, dang, how long we been friends, man? And you still like, you still asleep. But that ain't right. I don't want to talk about that. I just want to just throw some of the conversation out there. I don't even know if y'all gonna respond to any of this. I noticed that on my Facebook platform, man, Facebook did something to where people can't respond to none of my posts. And I'm starting to wonder if TikTok did the same thing, to where, you know, people can't respond to none of my posts. If you're able to respond, definitely respond to this one, man, because
be in either of the two left lanes.
Alright, so if y'all seen Wakanda Forever, and you saw the first one, Black Panther, and you were wondering why it was that Wakanda Forever did not do as good as Black Panther, I'm gonna tell you my take, because to be quite honest, I feel like Wakanda Forever was better than Black Panther. And the reason why I believe Wakanda Forever was better than Black Panther is because of the actual history of ancient East Africa. Now, I will admit, you know, that it was, you know, it was kind of heartbreaking, you know, that Chadwick Boseman was not in Wakanda Forever. But at the same time, I feel like Wakanda Forever was a better story than Black Panther was. And to be quite honest, I kind of wish that Wakanda Forever, the storyline that they had in Wakanda Forever, I kind of wish that was the very first storyline that they had. Like Black Panther, I think that should have been the sequel. And I think that Wakanda Forever should have been the very first one, the introduction to Black Panther, because
2 miles, keep right to I-24 East.
Like I said, because of the history of ancient East Africa. And I'm finding this out from a lot of people, man. A lot of people don't know that ancient East Africa, the civilizations that started off there, they all started out under the rule of the matriarch. It was a matriarchal society. The rulers were women. And I don't understand why that's so hard for people to believe. You ever heard that saying that what came first? Well, it's more like a question. Have you ever heard that question? What came first, the chicken or the egg? Now think of this. Men, we all have belly buttons. meaning that we were in a woman. We came out of a woman. So why is it hard to believe that women were the first rulers in the cradle of life, or in the East African civilization? Why is it hard to believe that women were the first rulers when they were here first? They gave birth to us. They were our first teachers. They were the teachers of men, both boys and girls. Laws, statutes, commandments. I believe, or I should say I know, that how to conduct ourselves as human beings, that was taught to us by our mamas. That scripture in the Bible that said, and the sons of God saw the daughters of man, that they were fair, and they took the daughters as wives. When it say the sons of God, I picture the sons of black women in Africa. So keep in mind, I'm just explaining the reason why Wakanda Forever, to me, was a better version of Black Panther. And I'm also trying to explain the reason why it didn't get the love that it should have gotten. Because a lot of people don't understand African history like how I understand African history. A lot of people don't believe me when I say that the black women were biblical God. In the beginning, when you see God's talking like, let us make man in our image, this is black women that are talking. After our image, after our likeness, that's black women that's talking. That's African women that's talking, man. Bringing, I be telling, people in the conscious community,
be in either of the two lanes.
Black women are manifestations of the universe here on earth, that the universe manifested physical form of itself in the form of women, because the universe is a feminine energy, and it made an image of itself and planted it here on earth, and that was the women. And the women had already came down impregnated with both boys and girls. And it wasn't just one woman that came down. It was like, I would like to believe that it was in the millions. Just like how when a man, ejaculates sperm, there's like millions of sperm inside that one emission. Well, I like to think that that's what happened with the universe, that the universe basically impregnated the earth, like dropped the egg out of the universe in the form of a meteor, and the meteor landed in the Indian Ocean, and that meteor dissolved in the Indian Ocean, and millions of black mermaids came out. And then through the evolutionary process, man, they went from being water dwellers to amphibious, living both on the water and on the land, and then ultimately became land dwellers. Hey, if this video cut off, remember, I'm on YouTube, man. YouTube. You can find me on YouTube, MoZez, MoZez 777, aka TuT-MoZe. Gotta put that in there, because there's another person that's using my name on this identity theft. There's another person using my name, MoZez 777. Spell it just like my name too, with a Z on it, MoZez 777. I don't know who that is. They just, how it is. How identity theft work. But make sure you put AKA TuT-MoZe after MoZez 777, so that you'll be watching my stuff and not the dude that watches anime. I don't watch anime. I'm not into anime. I don't know what that's all about. But at any rate, if this video cut off, just go over there and finish watching the rest of it over there on YouTube. But Wakanda Forever did not get the same love that Black Panther got, because they were showing, they were touching on the history of our mothers, of our ancestors, of our ancient kingdom, of the first civilization that was, constructed over there in East Africa, in Northeast Africa, in Southern Iraq, like in between Africa and Middle East, the black women and their children are the ones that built them civilizations. So Wakanda Forever to me was like, you know, the movie, it was like looking into the past. And I know folks is gonna not believe me when I say this, man, but technology is not a new thing. Yo, to this very day, look, when you think about Lalibela, Ethiopia, if you don't know nothing about Lalibela, Ethiopia, or the Aksumite Empire, Aksumite, A is an alpha, X is an X-ray, U is an umbrella, I is an indigo, T is an tango, E is an echo. That's Aksumite Empire, which is located in Lalibela, Ethiopia today. But in Lalibela, Ethiopia, there's these rock churches there. And then, of course, everybody knows about the pyramids and the Sphinx up in Kemet or up in Egypt. And to this very day, all of the wisest people among us still don't know how these rock churches in Ethiopia or these pyramids or the Sphinx, nobody truly knows how these structures were built. So that says that there was a level of intelligence that existed back then that still don't really exist today. So if you think that technology is a new thing today, I'm telling you that technology is something from the past. And here in the future, you know, they're just picking up on it and they still studying it. There's a lot of things from the past that they're still studying and finally starting to get a better understanding of what it is our ancestors was dealing with in the past. So Wakanda Forever, you know, when you see the technology that's taking place, when you see the black excellence that's taking place among these black women on Wakanda Forever, I'm telling you that that's not a fictional story. Our ancestors as manifestations of the universe. And for those of y'all that don't know, science reveals that the universe operates on a mathematical sequence. The mathematical equation of pi, 3.14. So if the universe manifesting itself here on the earth in the form of black women, that means that the very first women on this planet were operating with that same frequency, operating with that same level of intelligence that the universe is operating on. And the universe is doing like magnificent, unfathomable things. So if the universe above us is doing magnificent, unfathomable things, imagine what black women and the babies that they were giving birth to, imagine what it was that they were doing and what it was that they were accomplishing. This is the reason why Wakanda Forever was like the movie for me. Now, the other reason why I felt like the movie didn't get no love, you know, because it was showing, you know, black women in their black excellence. The movie was touching on the relationship between the gods from above and the first creations from here below, which was the Mesoamericans, or not just the Mesoamericans, or you would call them Indians here in the West, but also the ones in the East, in India. At one time, that was like all one nation. In the very beginning, the black Indians, they were not separated like how they are in the day where you had the Indians over there in the East and you got over here the Mesoamericans in the West. At one time, they were all one big unit. During a time when Atlantis and Lemuria was in existence. But the black Indians, the black straight-haired Indians, you know, they were the same shade as our black mothers that came down from the universe. They were the same shade of the universe. And of course, you know, they weren't the only ones, but they were the first ones. They were the first ones to come up out of the Indian Ocean, the Atlantic Ocean. They were the first ones to come out, and then you had the other ones come out of the Pacific Ocean, and then those that came out of the Antarctic Ocean. But I'm just saying that when you think about the straight-haired races, when you think about the straight-haired Negroids, the straight-haired Mongoloids, the straight-haired Caucasoids, I'm saying that the Earth gave birth to the straight-haired Negroids first. Of course, in the movie, they're a lighter complexion. They're more red, brown, bronze. Y'all know the complexion of our Mexican cousins, of our Hispanic cousins. You know that they were also referring to the Indians as the Redskins and things of that nature. But I'm telling you that they did not start out in that complexion. When they first came out the water, they were black also. The only difference between them is their hair. Their hair was straight, and they didn't have the same type lips that we had. Their lips wasn't big fish lips like how we had. They had regular primate lips, like their thin lips. But at any rate, this is the other reason why I feel like the movie Wakanda Forever did not get the love that the first Black Panther had got, because they were showing the relationship between gods and man. They were showing the relationship between the gods from above and man from here below. And one of the things that I felt got people in their feelings is that they were showing that the colonizer was basically the villain. The colonizer was the villain of both Africans and Mesoamericans. The colonizer can't steal vibranium from Wakandans anymore, so now they going over here to harass the Black Indians for theirs. Now, they did have the roles switched. Like I said, we're the ones that started out in the water. Well, I guess you could say all of us started out in the water. However, the evolutionary process of our mothers that came down from the universe, we were in the water longer than the Black Negroids, the Black Negroids, the Mongoloids, and the Caucasoids. And I think that has something to do, with the whole, being separate, the whole, being sanctified, separated, set apart. I just believe the intelligence of the universe did not want to okay, let me explain it like this. You have pigeons, and you got ducks, and you got chickens, and you have turkeys. You got like all these different manner of birds, but they naturally do not mix. That is a universal design. The universe designed them like that. They're all a part of the bird race, but an owl will not mix with an eagle. A hawk will not mix with a flamingo. A canary will not mix with a sparrow. They're all a part of the bird race, but they just naturally don't mix because the universe designed each of these birds for a specific purpose. And that is the same thing when it comes down to manifestations of the universe here on the earth. Yeah, we're all, developing in the water, but so that the universe can fulfill its purpose here on this planet, the evolutionary process of our mothers in the water, I believe the evolutionary process took longer. It took longer for them to become full-blown land-dwelling species, because for some reason the universe just wanted the straight-haired animals, the straight-haired beasts, to basically have a good control over their dominion. I guess, just to kind of see where things was gonna go, maybe. But I don't think like the universe. I'm not the universe. I don't know what the universe was thinking, but I'm quite sure that it was something with, you know, wanting to see the direction that all of this stuff down here on the earth was gonna go, and then, you know, like basically just monitoring it, because I do believe that the sun is like an eye of the universe. I believe that the universe uses the sun to monitor things here on the planet, you know, with the atmosphere and all. I don't want to get too deep into that. What I'm trying to explain is that the black Indians were dwelling on land and building their civilizations, or not even building civilizations, just what's the word I'm looking for? Because they didn't know anything about civilization until, you know, our mothers brought, you know, the understanding of civilization and building structures and things like that. They didn't have no knowledge of that. They were just basically, you know, just like very intelligent animals, you know, doing their thing until, you know, our mothers and their children showed up and started, you know, teaching them the ways of the universe, so to speak, or imparting the intelligence of the universe to them, you know, basically being their teachers. But let me back up to what I was saying about Wakanda Forever not getting the love that Black Panther got, you know, because they were showing, you know, the colonizer, you know, to be a thief. Can't get the vibranium can't get the resources from Africa, so we gonna go over here and mess with these Mesoamericans and take theirs. Oh, I see where I cut it off at. I cut off when I was saying that they flipped the story. In the movie Wakanda Forever, they were showing the Mesoamericans as, you know, the people that started off in the water. They did start off in the water, but they did not live in the water as long as our people did. Our people was in the water longer, you know, because the universe was still, you know, bringing forth, you know, these, or I should say the universe was still monitoring what the earth was doing. Seeing how, you know, things on the earth were progressing. And then once it had an understanding of the direction that things on the earth was going, then that's when our mothers and their children came forth to the black Negroids, to the Mongoloids, to the Caucasoids, and started teaching them the things that the universe wanted them to know. But Wakanda Forever not getting the type of love that Black Panther got, because they were touching on things that people really don't want black people getting credit for. They don't want the black woman to really get credit for things like that. They don't want to believe that black women can be that intelligent, even though our mothers have proven their level of intelligence. Shoot, right now I have a friend that's an astronaut at NASA. She's on a space station right now. One of my friends from high school is an astronaut on the space station at this very moment, Jeanette Epps. And she's not the only black woman that has shown the level of excellence that came down from the universe. There were women before her when we was children, before me and her was even born. Y'all saw the movie Hidden Figures with Taraji P. Henson and Janelle Monáe, and I forgot who else was in it, but that movie was based on a true story. That movie was based on the intelligence of black women. They always want to show our women as hoes. They always want to show our women as 304s. They always want to show our women as loud and ignorant. But Wakanda Forever wasn't showing that. Wakanda Forever was showing who our black women were before the fall, before Genesis chapter 3. Wakanda Forever was showing the black woman in her true nature, in her original nature. And that's the reason why the movie didn't get no love. But I also have to, touch on the relationship between, the Mesoamericans and the ancient Africans. I have to touch on it a little bit more because, even though the two, ended up, going to war with each other, I feel like the colonizer doesn't want the relationship of two ancient people to be reestablished, because I honestly feel that the relationship between the two was not the same type of relationship that you be seeing in these movies. Like when it come down to the gangs out there in the West, out there in like Los Angeles area, how they show, the Bloods and the Crips beefing with La Raza, beefing with the people, beefing with the essays. I don't think that was our relationship in the beginning. I think that the relationship between the ancient Africans and the Mesoamericans was much like the relationship between good neighbors. I believe there was trade that was going on between the two. I mean, you can get into the archaeology of South America and you'll see an African presence in South America, especially in them pyramids. And I don't think that the colonizer wants these two ancient people to have a particular relationship, because if we go back to having the relationship that our ancestors had, what does that do when it comes down to the resources for the colonizer? Will they still have access to the resources that they have access to today? And they using the resources for all the wrong reasons. What happens if the relationship between ancient people go back to what it was? What is that going to do for the power and control that the colonizers have today? I was going through social media, man, and I saw a post that showed how much gold France has. Gold is not a mineral. It's not a mineral stone that you can find in France. That is a mineral stone that is found in Africa, and it's also found here in America. It's found in other places other than France. So how is it that France has the largest reserves of gold, and gold don't even originate in their land? See, that's what I'm saying. What happens if the relationship between Africans and Mesoamericans go back to the relationship that it was back in ancient times? Where does that put the colonizers? And me personally, I don't think that would put the colonizers in a bad position if you're not greedy. If you're a greedy colonizer, yeah, I could understand why you would be in your feelings. But I do know that both ancient Africans and ancient Mesoamericans were not a stingy people. The universe put each of these races here on a planet to fulfill a specific purpose. And in order to fulfill our specific purposes, I'm quite sure trade was involved. Being good neighbors with each other was something that had to be in existence in order for everybody to perform their purpose. There's like things that the Caucasoids are supposed to be doing in the North Hemisphere, to make sure that the planet remains in balance with the universe. But there's certain resources that they don't have in the North Hemisphere that they got to get from their neighbors. And their neighbors can't be stingy with it. And the Caucasoids can't be greedy when it comes down to getting it. Same thing holds true for those Mongoloids in the East. Same thing holds true for the Negroids in the South and in the West. But this is the conversation I was having, man. I'm like, I really felt like Wakanda Forever should have got the type of love that Black Panther got, and Black Panther should have been getting the level of views that Wakanda Forever gets. And I'm having this conversation with sisters, man, and they wasn't really feeling where I was coming from. But I think what it was with them, man, they just they just into Chad Boseman and that other dude. Like they was attracted to that other dude, the dude that was in that movie Get Out. I just think they just attracted to them dudes, and they felt like, yeah, Black Panther should have gotten the love that it got. But I'm like, I feel where y'all coming from, but because Wakanda Forever actually did touch on a real history, because Black Panther, that's not a real history. There was no dude dressed up in a Black Panther suit that was the protector of Africa. The protectors of Africa was the black women and their children. The black women back then, they were warriors, and they taught their children to be warriors. They taught they boys and they girls to be warriors, to protect the kingdom. That's more realistic. That's the reason why I felt like the movie should have got more play, or should have got more love than the original Black Panther. But it's all good. I understand folks ain't woke like me. Folks not woke like me. Even the ones that call themselves conscious, they not woke yet, man. Because if they was woke like me, then Wakanda Forever would have got way more love than Black Panther did. And that's just how I feel about that. Alright, with that being said, peace, blessings, love, and light of Yah the Most High shine down on and in the lives of all of the children of the sun, resurrecting as gods on earth. Ancestors' protection be around y'all. Live righteous.